Hi, everybody. Todd Nielsen here. I'm joined today by Matthew Taylor. Matt's my colleague here at IGI, and this is the latest in our series of Meet the Cybersecurity People. So, Matt, welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
Matt, tell me, do you go professionally? I think of call you Matthew. I email to you at Matthew, and I invite you to meetings like this as Matthew. Do you go by Matt or Matteo, or what did they call you when you were coming up?
Yeah, Matt's great. I definitely like to simplify it a little bit, so Matt's perfect.
Okay, cool. Well, Matt, tell us your story. Who are you as a human being? I know a lot about you as a team member, but the design of these sessions is to kind of drill a little bit deeper and get to know you as a person as well as a cybersecurity pro.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess a little background on myself. So I have an interesting professional background. So graduated college in 2014 with a degree in communications. Really had no idea what I wanted to do. Worked in enterprise, rent a car, was a manager at Buffalo Wild Wings, really just figuring out who I am and where I wanted to be in my career, and decided that after talking to one of my friends who worked in the cybersecurity industry, decided to go back to school, get a second degree in cybersecurity. And I was actually on the consulting side for about 6 years of my life, doing risk assessments, vendor risk assessments, penetration tests, vulnerability assessments, really you name it in the cybersecurity realm, I've pretty much done it. And really have a lot of experience just doing the services side of the house, and really happy to be here at IGI, bring my experience over and grow this sales team here. And yeah, I guess that's really my background. Definitely a little different, but I found my way into my passion, which I'm very happy about. So.
Nice. Well, it is a diverse background. I didn't know all those past job experiences. How do you contrast cybersecurity to the rent-a-car business? Pretty big difference, huh?
No, yeah, for sure. But the thing of the cybersecurity, no matter the industry, you need it. And there's some regard that you're going to need to protect information. Even talking about the rental car industry, you have credit cards, you have names, you have driver's license numbers. And that information is super critical to be able to maintain and make sure that it's secure. And without having that security there, even working that industry when I was still figuring out where I wanted to go and what route I wanted to take in my career, that was always in my mindset. And that was one of the big driving factors in why I am where I am today. So.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's a good segue. So when I find, as we all do in the world of cybersecurity, some people get it, some people don't, some people get it at a very superficial level. How do you describe what we do to those who don't know much or don't know anything about cybersecurity? You kind of started it in your last answer, but when you're at the holiday dinner table and Aunt Martha, who knows nothing about computers, can't even work her cell phone, says, "Matthew, what do you do?" What's the response, and how do you kind of describe that to the rest of the world?
Yeah, I like to say I solve business solutions. And really the way I like to simplify cybersecurity is it really falls into three different topics: the people, the process, and the technology. When you're talking about the people, you're talking about your employees, your staff, the individuals that actually manage and maintain that information, and giving them the awareness training, having them give an understanding about what cybersecurity actually is to make it an organizational effort rather than just IT. And then the process and technology side, process is really that policy, procedural, really getting that full understanding about how things work inside your organization. And then finally, the technology part, which most people think of cybersecurity usually, the firewalls, the actual antivirus software, things along the lines of that help create your entire organization on the technical side and really make them more secure. So it's really a cumulation of those three topics, as well as having that organizational view and that holistic understanding that cybersecurity is an organizational issue. And that's really like the way I like to break it down into the simplest terms, I like to say.
Yeah, no doubt. Business solution. That's well put. Thank you. So Matt, you've been in this business a while, here at IGI for a short time, but you've been doing cybersecurity a number of years. What's in your cyber highlight reel? What kind of great engagements, storied tales do you share out there in the world? Obviously, not necessarily about the individual customer, but what kind of things come to mind as your high points in terms of storytelling or great rewarding sort of experiences?
Yeah, so my previous role before I was at IGI, I actually worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers as an experienced associate in the cybersecurity and privacy team over there. And I was working with a Fortune 50 bank, and I actually helped build out their third-party risk management program. And really coming in, seeing the issues, managing the entire program, both performing assessments as well as continuous development of the program. I was able to come in and really build out their program holistically, give them a much better idea about what works, what's not working, how to enhance the process, and really develop it as a whole. And really having that experience, that full front to back view of the entire program gave me a large understanding about how things actually work inside of organizations. And I'm super excited to bring that expertise here to IGI, be able to have those conversations with our clients and really understand their organization and see where we can assist them.
Yeah, nice. So, Matt, I find a lot of folks, to my earlier question, they understand cyber, but only what they read in the news, usually when something bad has happened. When you landed in your last job at a big company, a Fortune 50 bank, that's what, tens of thousands of employees. How did you find the knowledge level and expertise level? Because cyber is so niche in many ways, and it's changing so rapidly. How was that team to work with? How many folks did you find were able to specialize in the sort of things that for example, we at IGI do?
Yeah, and Todd, that's a great question, because the issue with cybersecurity is they even say that we have a negative unemployment rate in cybersecurity. And the reason for that is there's so many people that are very knowledgeable in this industry and really have a deep understanding. But at the same time, when you're siloed in an organization for a while and you don't get out and see other things, they really get a very, I guess, tunnel vision in a way. And I don't want to say that in a negative way here, but it's just really having that overall experience where on the consulting side, you're dealing with higher education, healthcare, manufacturing. You're seeing all these different verticals and all the different things that are happening. And to your point, when I was working with the Fortune 50 bank, they had their own viewpoints and they had a great awareness training process, and they had a really good understanding of what cybersecurity is, but really just in the financial sector rather than organizationally. And having that viewpoint where we can come in and really give that overall holistic view based off of all of the different landscapes that we really understand. When people hear cybersecurity, they usually aim it right towards IT. And it's an organizational issue, and especially working with a Fortune 50 bank, I was able to see internally how that is viewed in that regard. And yeah, they had a great cybersecurity program. They had an entire team there, but at the same time, they were really siloed on just the financial industry. And me being able to come in with the experience in manufacturing and other industries and really have that full holistic view, and talking to the IT team, who a lot of the times aren't security people. And it just works that way. A lot of the IT teams are network geniuses. They really understand the information technology side, but when it comes to security, they're not as well versed. And it's really important to give that full understanding, really create that organizational view of cybersecurity, and be able to have those conversations so everyone's aware of what's currently going on in the landscape.
Yeah, nice. So Matt, on a personal level, which is kind of one of the underpinnings of this, is to get to know a little bit more about you. I've worked with you for a little while now. Other than the fact that I know you just came back from camping and had some interesting experiences and some really epic photos from that trip, what is your go-to pleasure? What do you do for fun and enjoyment? What kind of things keep you entertained outside of our very exciting work at IGI?
Yeah, so I'm a New Yorker at heart, but recently moved out to Colorado, as you know, Todd. And I'm a big skier. Love rock climbing, really love being active. One of the big things in Colorado. Love checking out the new craft beer spots down in Denver and just exploring the city. Outside of that, really big Met fan and Jet fan, unfortunately. Really learned how to deal with the disappointment on that end. But yeah, really outdoorsy person, active person, really try to stay active for sure.
Nice. Well, that answers my last question. Is so you're a Met fan, so a lot of people have some sympathy for you, and they'll cut you a little slack. I grew up a Giants fan when I was growing up. That was a really tough row to hoe, as they say here in the South. So I feel you, brother. All right, Matt. Thanks for taking the time to do this. The time out of your busy day, helping our customers and our partners have a safer work environment. This I think is a great way for folks on the partner side and the customer side to get to know you, and also even some of the folks here at IGI who may not have had the pleasure or the chance to chat with you at this level of depth. So good to meet you, good to learn a little bit more about you, and we'll be talking more soon, I'm sure.
Great. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it.
Have a great day, Matt.